Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the Batmobile from the Flash movie wave. We'll be talking about the vehicle itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, nice support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. This is one big box. So the front of the box looks like, which looks really cool. The side, you can see that little stamp on there. The back of the box, you guys can see that. Alright. The top, which is upside down, sorry. And, of course, the bottom, which is upside down. But there is a barcode somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. There's a barcode. Alright, now let's take a look at the vehicle outside the box. As always, they come with a card. This is what the card looks like. It's actually sideways, but I'm showing you how it looks. And then the back of the card. Alright, it comes with no accessories. Well, actually no accessories, because you actually have to put these on. These actually don't come on. When you get it out of the box, you have to put them on. But that's pretty much it. So, in terms of accessories, there's nothing. And what you see is what you get. Now, let's take a look at the articulation. So, the tires do spin. This is the rear tire. And they are not independent, meaning they both move at the same time. See that? Same thing at the front of the tires. All right. And it does articulate in here in the cockpit or the canopy, which we'll talk about that in a bit. You press this button right here, like so, and boom, you can put the figure in there. And then closing it, push it back, down, and that's pretty much it. And that's all the articulation that I see so far in terms of this Batmobile. So that's that. Now let's talk about this Batmobile. The one and only Michael Keaton Batmobile. The one and only so far hard to find Batmobile. And I gotta say, this is fucking sweet, man. Holy shit, this is fucking sweet. Where do I start? Okay, we'll start from we'll start from the front. So let's take a look at the front. You got the little twin bind on there. Looks cool. Then you got here with the lights, where you can put actually lights on there. And then in terms of sculpture design or articulation, there's none. But in terms of sculpture design, in the front, you got the little sculpture design here, like a little vents. Then you got sculpture design on the tire. You got the Batman logo. You got the wheels on there. You got the tire on here and the tread as well too on the tires, which is pretty cool. And then the side you got more sculpture design there. You got more detail on here, all these pipes and so forth. Right, you got this huge intake. I'm assuming it's intake. I don't know why it's here, but huge port on there. More vents on here, of course, for the vehicle. Then you got the bigger wheel on the back, or tire, I should say, on the back with the Batman logo. Again, same style of tire. Also present in the back. You also have the pointy ears. And that is on this side. The other side, it's going to be identical, same thing. So there's not really much of a difference in terms of if there's a big difference on the sculpture design on both sides. On the top, or on the front, I should say, more vents on here. More of the sculpture design there. More vents, or I don't know what you want to call this portion right here. And then you got the actual canopy, which we'll talk about in terms of the paint. Then you can actually see through it, which is pretty cool. You guys can see the steering wheel and the seat on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys can see that right there. And the steering wheel, you can see it. You got almost like a vent right there as well too. You got the little sculpture design there and there as well. And then on the back, oh, I don't want to drop it. You got more vents on here as well too. You got the whole bat wing on there, sculpture design, which I really, really like. Then you have the rear, which the rear looks really, really cool. Big red lights. So you got the exhaust ports. Then you obviously have for the flamethrower. And that's pretty much it in terms of the sculpture design. In terms of the exterior, which we'll talk about the exterior in a bit. So overall, the exterior looks really, really, really cool, man. In terms of the paint job, I like the paint job, don't get me wrong. But I think the big issue, not really an issue, but I can see people complain, like myself, is that it is glossy black, so you're going to get a lot of fingerprints. So keep that in mind. Just look at all that smudging. And again, I just cleaned it right before I made the video, so all this fingerprint is going to be on it. So just keep that in mind. So if you're going to give it to a kid, expect to have a lot of fingerprints. You're going to have to clean it quite often. But In terms of the paint, it's very, very limited. I mean, you got the silver here on the side. You got the gold on the actual wheel itself. You got the lights on there. It's supposed to be like yellow, but it's actually more like a dark gold, like a mustard gold. Then you have the back as well, too. The red lights. They don't glow, so keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it in terms of the sculpture design. And even though it's a bit basic on the paint, he looks really, really good, man. The sculpture design is, come on, it's a Michael Keaton Batman. You can fit a 7-inch figure like this one right here. And again, the Michael Keaton Batman Batmobile. It's not 100% accurate because I know the paint is a little different on the wheels in terms of the actual movie. But man, for $60, which we'll talk about that in a bit, but nonetheless, so in terms of the exterior, it looks really, really good. Sculpture design. It's a lot of detail. The paint, again, glossy black. Some other paints here and there, but for the most part, the glossy black, it looks good. It's just a fingerprint magnet, so keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about the canopy, because this is the big thing that people were talking about. And yes, I do not know why it looks like this. I don't know why this is black and this is actual like gloss gray. I honestly thought it was going to be in the movie. It's going to be something like this, like where something's going to happen and they're going to replace the canopy with something like this. I have not seen the film, so I don't know if it's going to look like this or not. So there's that. But yes, it's true that the canopy does not match the body of paint. So this is like a glossy dark gray. You can see that right there. And then glossy black. Hey, don't pick on me. I didn't choose this. If it was me, I would have said no. I want it all glossy black. I have seen people paint it. You can paint it. For me, I'm probably going to keep it as is because I definitely don't want to paint this vehicle because one, it looks badass, but two, it's because it's hard to find, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I wanted to show you guys the canopy. It is different color than the body. Again, I didn't choose this. McFarlane did. And in terms of actually how it looks, is it really obvious? Honestly, and when you guys are watching it right now, it makes it seem like this is like a light gray, but it's actually not. It's like a dark gray. Maybe because I have lighting on it, so it makes it really like light gray on here. But it's actually like a dark gray gloss. So you can't really tell. It kind of blends in. Even at night, you can't really tell. But here on the camera, it makes it look like it's like a light gray, but it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's like a dark gray glossy. So keep that in mind. So that's a big thing that people were upset about is the paint. And you know what? I am with all of you, 100% with you. Why is it different? Maybe when I watch the film, it'll make more sense. You know, there's more context to why is it like this. But so far right now, I don't like this canopy being different colors. So it is what it is, though. All right, let's take a look inside. And again, press the button, pops out, and booyah. And let's see right there. You can see that seat on there, a little bit of sculpture design, like a little stitching. And then you have these pieces right here. And then you can actually see the steering wheel. It does not move. So keep that in mind. You might want, it's kind of, yeah, it's a bit flimsy, so be careful. Then you can see a little bit of the gauges on there. All right, sorry for the image. It's not the greatest. Trying to pick it up. So come on. Come on, camera. There you go. You can see a little bit of the gauges per se on there. And then you can put the 2 feet underneath here. Go in there. And you have the figure sitting down. And that's that. So in terms of the interior, there's some detail here and there, sculpture design. But overall, it's pretty clean, plain looking, which is fine. Let's be honest. A lot of us are going to have it closed majority of the time. Or we're not really going to look into it in terms of the sculpture of the actual interior of the vehicle. But I wanted to show you guys how it looks from the inside. You guys can see the detail and sculpture design on the inside of the Batmobile. But there's that, though. So overall, what do I think about the Batmobile? I absolutely love it. I love this Batmobile. Yes, 100% must buy and get it. Well, I'll talk about the price in a bit, but regardless of the price, though, what do I think about the Batmobile itself? It looks fucking cool. The articulation, very limited, but it's fine. But the detail and sculpture design is really good. The size is really good, too, which I like. It's actually big and massive, and it just grabs your attention. And it's one of those vehicles that, honestly, it is a must-have for any DC Multiverse collector. And so, to me, the vehicle itself, easily a thumbs up for me. Again, the paint job, I don't like the canopy part, but apart from that, I can even overlook that. Everything else looks cool. It feels good, too. It not really feel cheap. And also the detail on it looks good too. And for those of you who customize, which I've seen a bunch of you, I've seen people customize the tail lights, the headlights, even the exhaust ports as well too. And it looks even better when people customize it though. But regardless though, vehicle itself, I give it a thumbs up. I fucking love this, and I'm very happy I got one. And now let's talk about the price. For retail price of 60 bucks, yes, $60. I think it's a really good deal for $60. If you were to ask me what would I pay, the maximum I would pay honestly is $80. I honestly don't think anything above that it's worth it in my honest opinion. Sorry if you paid for more, but that's just, again, I'm just keep it real, give me my honest opinion. I think $60 is a really good price. $80 is a bit of a more of like a fair price, because anything above that, I just don't think it's really worth it. And I'm bringing this up is because I've seen people pay double, even triple the retail price. I've seen this. I went to like Frankenstein's not long ago, and I seen it go for $120, and I honestly don't think it's worth $120. Again, for the price of $60, I think it's a really good deal. $80 is more of a fair price. Anything above that, it's just too much. I would say wait, but I did get it for retail, so I'm happy about that. But again, overall, I give this Batmobile a thumbs up for me, a must buy, and get this. Definitely get this. Thumbs up. Here we have the Batmobile and the Batcycle. They both are from the Flash movie Wave. And you can just see, again, the difference of length. This thing is really, really, really large. And in terms of the detail, yes, this one has more detail on it compared to this one. But let's be real. This is just badass, nonetheless. So this is cool, but this is better. This is good, but this is best. If I were to give a rating, they both look good. But of course, if you ask me which one do I prefer, really, is that really a fucking question? Of course, the Batmobile. Here we have the Batcycle from the Batman White Knight storyline, and of course the Batmobile. This is a short version, which I'll show you right now. So this is a short version, right? You guys can see it in terms of the lengthwise, but of course with this one you can actually extend it like so. So you have a short version and you have a longer version, and yes, the Batmobile is still, in terms of lengthwise, it's going to be longer compared to the Batcycle from the Batman White Knight storyline, but just showing you how these two look side by side. Here we have the Batraptor from the Batman Who Laughs or Dark Knight story. I can't remember what it is, but regardless, so just showing you how these two look side by side. Big old wheels and tires on that one. Yes, it is bigger wheels and tires on that one compared to this one. And of course, you can actually extend it. So this is the short part of it, and you can extend it like so. You get a little bit more length, not a whole lot, but something more. But again, just showing you how these two look side by side. Here we have the Batmobile, which is really huge, and the Batmobile. In terms of the height, of course, this one's a lot bigger. But in terms of lengthwise, yes, the Batmobile is still longer in length. But I wanted to bring this one because this one, the Batmobile, was originally $80. And in that video, I even said $80 for it, it's a little too much. And I feel like I think it should have been better for more of like a $60 price. And I think McFarlane nailed the price on this Batmobile compared to the other one, which I'll make a video on, which is the Batwing. So make sure you check that out. But again, in terms of the Batmobiles, it was a bit overpriced. And I'll compare it to the Batwing, like I said. But I wanted to show you how these two look side by side. And to me, McFarlane nailed the pricing on this one because I'm pretty sure he learned from a mistake on this one for the pricing. A lot of people, including myself, said $80 was too much for this Batmobile. It should have been like at least starting off $60. McFarlane starting off this one $60, and it sold like hotcakes. I think if this one was selling for $80, it wouldn't be as hard to find. Yes, it would still sell a lot, but not a whole lot. And I think the fact that he sold it for $60 is a perfect price for it. I think if he did the same thing here on this one, he probably would have sold a lot more. But that's just me. Nonetheless, so here we have the Batmobiles next to the Batmobile. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on this vehicle? Do you plan to purchase this vehicle? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button, not to support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of the Batmobile from the Flash movie Wave, and on to the next one.